So I wrote it down on the chat, so in case you are not um, understanding what I mean. So now let's start our first session together. Today's session is going to be about empowering learning and how IT tools and educational practices could influence education. And meanwhile, we are going to talk about ethical considerations. This session is going to be interactive session, so please be ready because I'm going to give you a space to introduce yourselves, to talk, and to express your philosophy when it comes to education and technology. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Marwa Soudio. I am an engineer. I am communication and electronics engineer, and I have a bachelor's degree of communication and also a master degree in communication engineering and laser communication. Uh, Prior to working with as an educational technologist, I have been a research engineer at Ain Shams University, and I've been working in lasers and optics. Then I started my company, Ideas Gym, in 2011 and started my work as an educational technologist. And then I earned a Master of Arts from Tartu University in Estonia in educational technology. Then at the moment, I'm a third year doctoral student and the junior researcher at Tallinn University in Estonia. So basically, my experiences are between communication engineering, educational technology, and artificial intelligence and digital transformation. So I hope you gain insights from my talk. And if you have any questions in those fields that you would like to discuss, we can discuss it over the presentation. So let me give you an introduction about what is technology when it comes to education. So technology advances as we see, and I think everyone is seeing now what is going on with ChatGPT and generative AI and its shadows over education. So as technology mainly advances, there are rise of new professions, and also there is a need to prepare and and to have capacity building programs to prepare the next generations to know how to deal with those technologies. But there is a phrase that I like to highlight, which is for Papert. Seymour Papert was a guru in the field of technology and education, and he is the father of introducing technology to students. Papert was beyond, if you are familiar with Scratch programming, Logo programming, the maker spaces, and the Lego robots, Papert was beyond all this. So when it's come, so this phrase for Papert is really important because in this phrase he's highlighting the relationship between technology and education. So mainly what's going on in the scene when it comes to technology in education, that there is an invention of new tools to teach the same old stuff in the same way. So what this sentence mean is to teach new things using technology. Also, what we call pedagogy, our way in teaching should be changed. So we can't just keep the same way of teaching, but just say that we are going to use technology and look to technology as a silver bullet that is going to solve all our problems. So when it comes to using technology in education, we should put the cultural perspective, we should put the teaching perspective, the learner, everything in our consideration. And this is what we do when we design new tools or new courses in purpose to help advancing technology. So how technology can advance education? So basically, technology plays a crucial role. It revisionalizes traditional teaching methods. It enhances the learning experience. Um, Educational technology also includes the usage of hardware and software and also innovative media to improve the education practices. And it helps educators to organize the materials. We saw in COVID was a very great lesson to everyone about how technology can help us to advance and help our students to learn better and the teachers to organize themselves. Just a second. Also, integrating IT tools in learning enhances effectiveness, communication, collaboration, creativity. Two of the most famous apps we have Padlet, we have Google Apps. Those things support interactive learning and multimedia sharing and project organization, either in school context or in higher education. Before going deep and talking about the current trends that leveraging practices that leverage education, I would like to ask you a question. Okay, someone wrote something on the chat. Let us see. So thank you for both Minna and Basim for writing it down on the chat. So let me stop sharing and break my talk a bit. And I am the founder of Horizon IT based in Cairo. We specialize in using satellite imagery to provide advanced telecommunication experience. This is very interesting. My bachelor's degree was about remote sensing and satellite communication. So this is very interesting, Basim. Our team is dedicated to pushing. Okay, let's talk after the session. Minna, computer engineering student at DSC. Thank you, Minna, for attending the session. So now, before going further and discuss more about the current trends when it comes to education and technology, I would like to ask you as attendees, can you express why you're interested between this mix between education and technology? What is your idea about it? How you see it? So you can raise your hands and then we can open your mic so we can hear you. So that's okay, Muhammad Mukhtar. So Salma, can we make Muhammad Mukhtar be able to talk? Can we open his mic?
Of course. 1 second.
Okay.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me well?
Yes, please introduce yourself, Mahmoud. Sorry, I read it first, Muhammad. So, Mahmoud, can you just introduce yourself and tell us what was your idea about education and technology? Have you worked specifically in education and technology, or you have been a learner who is using technology
Mhm.
to learn better? So, can you talk about your experience, please?
Yeah, sure. I'm an English teacher and teacher trainer, and I have my company for teaching business English exam preparation and teacher training as well. I see AI and embedding technology in general is something that we're interested. Me and my team and the company that's because we're seeking in this period of time to create a bit of personalized learning process for professional people, specifically at the beginning, and then we generalize it for language learners. This will help to know This will help to make a more personalized learning experience according to their needs and help achieve their goals and put them in a path or track that will make it also, yes, personalized, focused, and easy to teachers or educators from the other hand. So that's what I think about.
Okay, this is great, Mahmoud. So, Mahmoud, do you have a real life experience that you can share with us when it comes to personalizing learning? You saw that technology made a difference with your students when it came to personalized learning.
As a small
If you
model,
are
yes,
interested to share something, yes.
yeah, as a small model, yes, I used Gemini and ChatGPT to help me generate some learning path for a few of my learners based on the input or their profile. So I take a profile at the beginning, run analysis, partial placement tests, for example, for the English language and so on, and set their goals. We can do this manually, but adding AI, generative text and so on, this will help to use the latest updates and authentic material from internet to generate a customized text, for example, for them to read and answer some questions and so on, customize the learning process, and make it automated will help. So we're seeking to have it automated. This will help teachers do minimal in the preparation and do more in interacting and teaching, giving feedback to students instead of spending around 49% as a global stat on preparation time. That has to, if we implement this technology and so on, this will have to cut to half of it, like 25% preparation, maybe with using the technology and so on. And the rest of the time will be more dedicated for interacting and giving feedback to students and leverage them with practical experience.
This is great, Mahmoud. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this. Does anyone would like to share his or her experience when it comes to education and technology? Mahmoud, thank you for your courage. So, anyone else? Okay. Let's continue. Now, let's talk about some practices that are current trends when it comes to education and technology. And those trends are not, I can't say that they are new because most of them are like old somehow. When you study educational technology, we know that most of them, we know that new. Most of them stemmed from discussions and imaginations in the 50s, someone in the 60s, and some of the 50s, and some of the 70s. Okay, so one of them is adaptive learning platforms. This is similar somehow to what Mahmoud was expressing about his experience, like how we can use algorithms to give the personalized instructions based on individual student needs. We all understand that we are not learning the same way. And for a human to adapt with everyone in the class, especially in high numbers, that could be a very hectic process. So using that technology in this case, like adaptive learning platform, sounds like a dream. Like I can use a platform and those algorithms can understand my students and can give them instructions based on their needs. So basically, this is the idea beyond adaptive learning platforms. But if you ask me if this is the best way to teach students, if this is what is going on at the moment, if students are learning really better, this is another story. I would say that in Egypt, basically, we always focus, what I saw through around 18 years, that when we design from engineering or computer science perspective, we focus on the technical part, and the humanities studies are always missing, and the humanity perspective somehow is missing from our analysis. So those platforms could be really good and could be beneficial, but always the context is important, and further studies are highly needed. When it comes to virtual reality and augmented reality, VR and AR technologies offer immersive and interactive learning experiences. It helps us to see 3D models. It helps us to enhance our understanding and engagement. So before commenting on VR and AR, I would like to ask our audience, if you experienced using a headset, a VR or AR headsets before. If that is the case, please raise your hands on the chat. Raise your hands. So we have only one of our attendees who experienced VR or an AR headset. Muhammad Bakri, Mahmoud Mukhtar. So we have 2. Mark Hani. So we have 3. Okay. So we have only 3 who experienced virtual reality and augmented reality. Then for the 3 of you, I need to ask you my next question. Have you used it for your own self, or you have used it for educational purposes? I mean, you used it with the students.
May I talk? May I talk?
Muhammad, yes. Can you raise your voice a bit?
So I've used it. I don't have a VR headset at my home, but
No.
I've used it.
Muhammad, your voice is not clear, so if you can write on the chat, that would be good. So for Mahmoud, have you used it yourself or with your students?
For myself, I used it for some games. It wasn't education.
Okay, so what was your can you share your experience? You find it interactive, you find it engaging, or you find you found it hectic and it was not as good as you expected?
Um, I can't judge this according to the educational field because maybe there was some more development there. But to my experience with using it for games, I was satisfied as a good start. I believe there will be more development coming in the part. But the benefits I see in the educational field that it can put students in real practice and simulation that could be encouraging for them, minimizing the stress they face when once they start applying what they learned in reality. Um, for example, some of my students, they're doing well as long as it's one-to-one class. But once they go to a meeting or have to present something at work, they start to panic maybe or don't feel confident about themselves. So I think that will help in that psychological part, um, at least, and for sure makes it more practical and enjoyable for learners.
Okay, so now when it comes to VR and AR, we need to put into consideration again the human aspect. Okay, so there is learning that those tools like AR and VR could allow us to learn in certain contexts when we can provide like a sort of a lab. For example, laboratories are very expensive. So if we would like to have or something like space and remote sensing as Bassem is working in this field, Bassem was working in, if you are interested to show people how they can work, see the satellites words or the space words, in that context, AR and VR could be very effective. But let's put into consideration, because again, I saw many practice, especially in Egypt, when the people focus to give the AR and VR headsets to very young age groups, for very young age groups. And this is really is not good, because there are many research work around it, and at a certain in those young age groups, wearing the headsets could be harming more than benefiting them to learn. You can that can be harming for the for their eyes, for the brain, and so on. So yes, there are a lot of research which is taking place to advance and to avoid the problems when it comes to using VR and AR and utilizing using them. But rushing to use technology without understanding the consequences of using it is something not good and something that should be considered. So now we have 2 comments on the chat. Let's take them. So Muhammad Bakri and Ahmad Fadel. Okay, thank you, Ahmad, for sharing your experience. You used it for entertainment. I've used it for myself for playing games, but I think it would really have a big use in education. For example, a game called Your Chat has like virtual rooms that you meet with others, and I think this could be used for interactive online videos. Thank you, Muhammad Bakri. But let me tell you that also the chat rooms is very, very a crucial context when it comes to education. Although this thing seems fancy, and it will remind us with the one player movie, and we might be enthusiastic toward experiencing this. But virtual rooms are really, when it comes to young age groups, is really could be harming as well. There could be manipulative chats. Young teens could be dragged to some manipulative chats and could be a sort of harassment taking place there. So when it comes to education, we should be like considering any consequences or any harms that might take place while using those sort of technologies. Now, other stuff is that always other trends. I mean, that and fields when it comes to educational technology, and when it comes to how education can benefit from technology, is the online collaboration. And I think online collaboration is the simplest thing that we are all depending on at the moment, like tools that enable students to work together and to interact with the student together and so on, like Google Documents to Google Presentations, and all those tools that help us, and platforms that help us to share documents together and work together. Gamification, for sure, gamification is something important because entertainment enhances our way of learning. Since we were young, I believe that I'm older than the majority of those attending the session, but basically we all love stories, we all love games, we all love entertainment, we all love this sort of visualization, and gamification could be challenging. Give us a sort of a challenge, you earn a badge, you see rewards, you feel there is a sort of interaction, as if you are in your own story. And this is why gamification is very promising when it comes to education. We have also the mobile learning applications, and I think when during COVID, there was like a boom of mobile learning applications that have been shared and used by everyone. And there is the flipped classroom model. So did anyone of my audience here try the flipped classroom model or know about flipped classroom model? If you know flipped classroom models or used one, can you can raise your hands on the chat on the okay. So Muhammad Bakri and Mahmoud Mukhtar. So it seems both of you guys are the most experienced. Abir Al-Qurani. Okay. So Abir, would you like to share your experience when it came to flip the classroom model? I would like to hear a feminine voice. Abir, can you share? Would you like to share your experience? Okay, so let's move to Ahmad. Ahmad Fadel, would you like to share your experience? Muhammad Bakri. Okay, Muhammad, you can share your experience about flip the classroom model, if you like.
So I've tried it myself. I haven't tried it myself, but I've read about it that they are used in some classrooms in Japan, and also in like the discussion part of it is used sometimes in STEM schools, and I think it actually enhances the amount that the student has learned as he researches himself the content that he's learning. He actually searches and knows more about what he's gonna talk about, because he's gonna act like like a teacher, discuss with other students in a form of a teacher, and that makes him he has to know more to teach more. Like I've heard a saying that says teaching is the best way to learn. Like when you teach something, you learn it more.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad. So we have Ayman Hassan also. Ayman, are you interested to share something regarding flip the classroom model?
Yep. So give me 1 second. Okay, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, now we do. If you can introduce yourself also, that would be beneficial, so we can know
Okay,
more about you.
sure. Thank you, Marwa. I am Ayman. I am used to work as a Microsoft certified trainer. I deliver technology courses and classes to in some time of my life, I used to deliver technology classes to K-12 students. Uh, but I come back to K-12 students from time to time, but now I'm especially working with digital transformation field. So I'm working with almost with blue collars and maybe business professionals who are interested in these technology fields that that I like to share my interest in. I have used the flipped classroom, and I liked it because it raises the critical thinking skills in the students without maybe seamlessly, without any effort. They use their brain not only by listening to information, but with searching for information, and they develop the critical style that you know when you have the information in the traditional class, you are obliged to only listen, no discussions. But when you learn first at home, when you are required to research and develop your own paper, in case we can call it a paper, right? You will develop the critical and the questionable mindset, which is very important, I think. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ayman. This is very, very interesting. Yes, I agree, and I'm going to comment on your comment and about what Muhammad mentioned. Let's also listen to Ahmad Fadil and his experience. Then I'm going to comment on everyone. So Ahmad, can you share your experience, or what do you think about flip the classroom model? Yes, please go.
Um, I'm Dr. Ahmad. I'm assistant professor in Faculty of Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence, Ahram Canadian University. My experience about flipped classroom, when I was a PhD student or master student, doctors used this model with us, give us topics to research and do presentation about it in the classes. This model is most suitable for classes with a few number of students, and also for senior students. I use this model when I'm teaching for senior students. Okay, we have, for example, course called selected topics in computer science or whatever. Small few number of students. I use this model. We give the students topics, they research about it, and they come to do a presentation in the classroom. And of course, with evaluation and with the participation from their peers. Okay, but I cannot
This is very
generalize this model on
okay.
all courses, or courses with many students, or for junior students.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, Ahmed.
Okay.
Thank you all for your comments. Now let me give you an idea. Now there was this transfer model that we got used to, and it's still there. It's still there, which is the teacher is the center of information. This is what Ayman and Muhammad and Ahmed were trying to express. But basically, there was this our our humanity for years, we have been depending on the teacher as the center of the education. So he's the source of information. He's the one giving us the information. Whatever the teacher is saying, you should take for granted. And that's what we got used to. Now, when it comes to flip the classroom model, it takes you out a bit from the classroom is the place in which you should learn. Okay, so we don't have to stay inside the classroom, and the teacher is not the center of the information or the main source of information. The teacher here becomes more as a facilitator, and I think, Ayman, that this is what you have been trying to express when you have been saying this seamless experience and less effort. So it's about not be I do believe it's not less effort, but the stress is less, because you need, as a facilitator or as a teacher, to be a little bit supporting all the students, helping them to like guide them in this process, and this takes effort. If you are going to provide them with provoking links or resources to help them to to ignite this spark within them, that is going to take effort. But the stress is less on the teachers, because when the teachers feel that they are the center of information, they have this fear growing that they might be mistaken, that they need to know everything in this world. But when we give ourselves a chance to allow the students to go to search, to find the information, and we go be co-learners with them, we collaborate with them, then everything, it changes. I think Muhammad was trying to say that when he was saying the best way to teach, to learn, is to teach. So when you go and help the students to start studying on their own, you also, as a teacher or as a facilitator, start to learn. And I think, Ahmad Fadel, for your experience with the senior students, and I think for the higher education, that used to be there, that professors usually ask their students to go do some work and then come to present for the professors, and the professors in this process are learning together with their students. And this is interesting for the higher education. But when it comes to, especially when it comes to technical disciplines like engineering, computer science, and so on, but when it came to K to 12, things still are moving in the traditional way in some countries. So flipped classroom could be promising a bit because it liberate the teacher and the student from this chain of that the teacher is the only one who could give you the information, and you are not allowed to think on your own. So there is a sort of freedom when we go and embrace such way of thinking. Now, let me share on popular IT tools. Learning management systems are very popular tools like Moodle, Canvas, Blackboard. I believe that most of you have used them at least during COVID. The learning management systems are like providing us with a space to put materials, to see the performance of the students, to have a sort of analysis about what's going on between the students and the materials. So you can imagine this if you have learning the traditional way, and you give your students sheets, mathematics sheets to answer. You don't know what's going on between the sheet and the student. But in the learning management system, when you post this sheet and the students start to answer the mathematical questions, you gain sort of insights and data. And this needs a lot of work from data scientists, and also collaboration between data scientists and teachers to understand how to analyze this data, because the data coming out could be analyzed by the data scientists in a way that doesn't reflect the reality, and this could be one of the constraints. However, this is sort of a promising way to understand the relationship between your students and the materials. And the collaborative document editing and sharing tools, we all use those ones. I think those ones are the best tools that came to us. Google Documents, Microsoft, and Dropbox, all those things are really good when it comes to sharing presentations and documents. And we have the coding and programming tools. Those also, I believe that most of you have used this like tools like Scratch, Code.org, Arduino to provide educational programming and coding. And I do remember during my studies in Faculty of Engineering, there was no Arduino then, and we used to use PIC or other processors or Atmel, and it has been a very complicated process. But Arduino opened the gate for either school students before even faculty, university students to be able to interact and do programming things and interact with educational tools and technology. And it has been widely used by many students all over the world. And the good thing is it's an open source, so it could be manufactured locally. So it's a very, very interesting product. Now we are going to watch a small video together. It's about the rise of technology and augmented reality. And in this video, we are going to know more about the history of virtual reality, augmented reality, and what is called also mixed reality. So in this video, I hope you like it, so we can watch it together. Then I can hear your comments. I will stop sharing to make sure that I enable the sound. So just 1 second.
If this is to be the end.
Hey everyone, today we are going to talk about the mind-blowing technology which is revolutionizing the present and the future. That is none other than immersive technologies. Immersive technologies comprising of virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality are amongst the fastest growing and fascinating technologies today. So what is immersive technology? To put it in a nutshell, immersive technologies create or extend reality, and this is done by immersing the user in a digital environment having applications in different domains. This technology is gaining momentum with every passing day and hour, transforming and helping us reimagine the future. Let's start with virtual reality. Virtual reality uses VR headsets to create a simulated environment and helps an individual to immerse into it to experience an entirely different reality. However, the historical journey of virtual reality began back in the 1800s. This marvelous idea has been evolving from the time practical photography came into existence. Morton Heilig invented the first VR device called Sensorama in 1957. His multimedia device, the Sensorama, is considered one of the earliest VR systems. However, the term virtual reality was coined later by Jaron Lanier in 1987 during his intense research on this evolving technology. A lot of companies are investing billions of dollars in the VR sector. Some of the best VR products are Oculus Quest, Nintendo Labo VR Kit, Sony PlayStation VR, Lenovo Mirage, and many more. These gadgets enable an individual to immerse in a digital environment to experience a world which is different from reality. You might think VR is all about gaming, isn't it? But the potential of VR doesn't stop there. It is revolutionizing many other industries like education, military, medicine, and sports, to name a few. Here are some examples of VR in real life. Class VR is an innovative new concept in the educational industry which uses VR tech to raise the engagement and knowledge retention for students of all ages. Class VR uses VR headsets with a user-friendly interface for both students and teachers, gesture controls, and embedded educational resources. Facebook is coming up with a new idea called Facebook Horizon, which is an ever-expanding VR community where you can explore, play, and create. It helps you to defy physics and reality and experience the impossible. And we also have VR 360, which is a 360-degree audiovisual simulation. It allows the user to look around in any direction, just like how they look and observe things in real life. You can experience anything from standing on top of a pyramid to enjoying Tomorrowland sitting at home. Isn't that wonderful? We can't end the topic if we didn't highlight the role of VR in gaming. A great take on this is the movie Ready Player One by Steven Spielberg. The film is set in the year 2045 when the world is on the brink of chaos and collapse. But humans have found salvation in a virtual reality universe where they could make the impossible possible. Let's hear what Steven himself feels about the VR universe.
World that we would someday be able to escape into, a world that, we leave our world, but we don't leave our world. We don't have to walk 5 feet to leave our world. We just have to put something over our eyes, and we are suddenly thrust into a wonderful world of someone's imagination.
Next up is AR. Augmented reality is a technology that projects computer-generated augmentations on top of reality, helping us perform tasks better and efficiently. AR, which falls in between reality and virtual reality, is a method used to render real-world data and present it intuitively so that virtual elements resemble the present reality to an extent. The revolution doesn't stop here. Have you ever tried to catch Pokemon using Pokemon Go or fit any furniture using the IKEA app? These are made possible by the technology called augmented reality. Augmented reality has seen raging in popularity over the past few years, and the revolution is not stopping anytime soon. AR is giving brands the power to provide their customers with unique experiences that can prove to be the difference between purchase and dropout. Let's have a quick look at the history of AR. So you might think AR is a new technology. Well, on the contrary, it has been around for numerous decades. Ivan Sutherland developed the first AR gadget called Sword of Damocles during 1968. This system used computer graphics to show users simple wireframe drawings.
If this is to be the end,
from Pokemon Go to training future surgeons, augmented reality is starting to infiltrate many industries of our society today. But what exactly is augmented reality? Looking into the most popular applications of AR, first up we have location-based AR apps like Google Maps, which place digital directions on top of the real world and shows you where to walk. Next, we have Google Lens. It is another application that enhances the search experience. With Google Lens, you don't have to type your query anymore. Just open the app and aim it at what you want to learn about. Google Lens will identify the object and give you all the essential details about it. Then we have the Snapchat filters. These are one of the best examples of AR, and as you know, Snapchat has become a trend among the younger generations. Did you know that Mysterio couldn't have fooled Spider-Man without his AR technology?
See, that wasn't so hard.
But thanks to his spider sense, Spidey dodged all the drones, destroyed them all, and gave us a good ending. Even Facebook has plans to build AR glasses to create 3D maps of the world. If you are still skeptical about AR, check out what Mark Zuckerberg has to speak about AR.
So that's why I'm so excited about augmented reality, because it's going to make it so that we can create all kinds of things that until today have only been possible in the digital world, and we're going to be able to interact with them and explore them together.
Next in this line of immersive technologies is MR. If virtual reality and augmented reality impressed you, get ready for the best of both worlds, that is mixed reality MR. Mixed reality is all about blending the real world with virtual reality. Unlike augmented reality, users can interact with virtual objects in mixed reality. What was nearly impossible a few years ago and was limited to our imagination, like interacting with your favorite Marvel superhero, is now possible because of MR technology. Does it seem similar to AR? Well, you can call it AR 2.0. MR is still in its early stage, and it will take a while for it to reach the consumers. However, the investment in MR and AR is expected to reach $4 billion by this year, and the future of MR is not so distant. MR's applications are vast, and its main uses are in the field of education, training, sports, healthcare, space missions, and even construction. Though many use cases are in the testing phase, this idea isn't far-fetched by any means. The best example of MR is the Microsoft HoloLens, which is just a pair of MR smart glasses. It allows you to experience 3D holograms that melt seamlessly into the real environment. You can interact with those augmentations using your bare hands and get all the information you need. Let's now hear what Alex Kipman, the designer behind the HoloLens, thinks about mixed reality.
In the real world, we're finding great success in mixed reality, from education to healthcare to manufacturing, which is what you see a lot of the cases happening here.
Here's a quick recap of what we know so far. So augmented reality adds digital elements to a live environment, whereas virtual reality implies a complete immersive experience that shuts out the physical world. On the other hand, a mixed reality experience combines elements of both AR and VR, where you can interact with both the real world and the digital elements. Immersive technologies are quickly becoming a part of our daily lives, and they are here to stay, not only enhancing human experiences, but helping brands market their products effectively and successfully to attract their target audiences. From gaming to buying furniture, immersive technologies are taking the world by storm. So what do you think is next? Comment your ideas in the comment section below and stay tuned for more from Simply Learn.
So I hope you liked the video or it added something for you. So does anyone would like to add something for that?
If this
Just 1 second, just 1 second. Mm. Okay. Okay, Muhammad, you can share your thoughts. Yes, go ahead.
So I want to talk just the latest we've seen in I think mixed reality is the Apple Vision. The Apple Vision that have released like several weeks or or a month ago. It was actually really innovative in the AR and MR section that they have used GPS and several cameras and several special processors in the thing itself, in the headset, that you can just walk and the screen that you see is following you, or you can make it just stay in the same place that you left it in. Like you can leave it at a corner and you go do what you want in your house, eat, drink, do whatever, and you come back to that same place and you see that screen that you've left. That wasn't possible without like adding GPS to it, so that the headset knows where is the screen that you've left. And for education, I think like this would really make a big difference in, like as we've seen in the videos, in fields that require like actual experience and actual, like you do the thing but by yourself. This would help a lot in that fields, in those fields, like engineering, like medical things, and all of this could really be enhanced by MR and VR.
Thank you, Mohammed. But have you been concerned, like, have you saw that those technologies are not new, that they started in the 19th century or in the 18th century? They have been there for like centuries. So do you think that would add something to the discussion, could have raised your curiosity? Have you saw something from this?
I think it makes sense, as like those technologies like can't have just got like be finished in just 2 years, or like since we just heard about it. I think like it makes sense that they have had a lot of researches in that field long ago, as it isn't an easy field just to make a headset and make something that you can experience, like the VR headsets and the Apple Vision. Like I think those actually, it makes more sense that they have had researched a lot before just giving it to the end consumer.
Thank you, Mohammed. Now let me add something. The context is really important. So, and also to understand, I don't like to get how can I put that? Like admire technology so much. Okay, so I was in a workshop with the father of CanSat. If you know CanSat, building a small satellite in a can, and he said something very important, and that really made a difference. organized my way of thinking, that he said, to be able to control technology, you need to despise technology. To come up with something, you need to despise technology, not like to worship technology. And some people, in my opinion, like are putting a lot of sauce around technology, that it's like a silver bullet that's going to free us from everything and going to solve our problems, which is not true. Still, the humans controlling everything are important. So when it comes to business, things marketing are putting a lot of glory around technology. So if you see that in this video there was the what Facebook is currently working on from research and so on, but as you know that once generative AI and OpenAI, the company behind the ChatGPT, released the ChatGPT, many big companies stopped their work on products such the one with the Facebook, with the Horizon project, and they started to focus on having something with generative AI. So we should also put in our consideration that the business fight when it comes to technology, the business perspective, the political perspective, all those dimensions are really important when we look at technology, to be able to see it in the right context and to put it in the right place. Now, let me share with you use cases from media and sports. So technology is not always good and it's not always bad, but we can see how technology can help us. This is a very nice example from sports that I would like to share with you. So you know there is what is called lactic acid. If you are play the sports, there is lactic acid, and lactic acid could be harming and causes injuries to players. So let's see how technology can help on avoiding injuries from lactic acid.
Welcome to the tech race. Lactic acid is one of an athlete's most dangerous enemies, causing fatigue, pain, and even loss of consciousness. How do competitors control it? Athletes measure the level of lactic acid that their own body produces as they train to avoid injuries and tachycardia. Until now, it was impossible to measure in real time. This wearable device has finally made this possible without a drop of blood.
What the Human lets me do is notice when I'm working too hard and when I need to recover very fast.
In Boston, students at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology have designed a new device that wirelessly collects lactic acid data as athletes train.
Lactic acid is basically, it's something that's produced, again, when the muscles don't have enough oxygen available. And it's kind of produced and accumulates in the body as you exert yourself harder and harder and harder.
Long periods of intense exercise require more energy than oxygen alone can provide. In the absence of oxygen, muscles produce lactic acid. This can only be tolerated in small amounts, as it can be toxic in high doses. This device is a real revolution. Previously, the only way to measure lactic acid in the body was using a blood sample.
So here I'm gonna put this needle in his finger so that we can extract a drop of blood. So it's a very, quick process. You click, and he gets pricked, and now you can see there's a drop of blood coming out. So keep your finger like this, and then you're gonna put the drop of blood in the machine. The machine collects it, and then it's running its test, which lasts 10 seconds.
For the first time, athletes have real-time information that enables them to avoid overexertion. But how does this wearable device work?
This is the Human Alpha prototype, and it's a sensor that measures the oxygen level in an athlete's muscles. And the way it does that is by using an optical sensor, which shines different colors of lights into the muscle, and then several sensors which then read how much of that light is recorded at the sensor, and based on the properties of that light and how it changes, we can tell how much oxygen is in the muscle.
By taking advantage of spectrometry, a LED light shines through the skin. An optical sensor then examines the light that bounces back. A small change in color is provoked when there is an increase in lactic acid that is measurable by the device and can warn the user to pause training.
It's really easy and simple to use. All it takes is me to put on this wearable right here, and I push the on button. This sends a signal via Bluetooth to my phone where I just pair it by pushing a button, and then I tell the phone whether I'm running or cycling, whether I'm indoors or outdoors, and then I'm on my way to start my workout. As I'm running or cycling or working out, all I need to do is check my phone.
History has gathered emotional moments where high-performance sports have almost defeated athletes. Perhaps one of the most memorable examples took place in the Olympic Games, Los Angeles, 1984. The image of marathon runner Gabriela Anderson pushing her limits to reach the finish line still anguishes us today as much as it did then. Scientists can reduce, even avoid this suffering. That's why this technology is so relevant for athletes to identify their limits. Pain and even loss.
So, as you see here, the context has really been very important when it comes to technology, and it has been very useful to use such a technology when it came to sports. But for example, I am not with the having the students inside the classes putting devices to keep tracking the rise. This is something that could be dangerous for the students and hacks their privacy and collecting data that could be manipulated and used in harassment techniques. So you see here, such a device could be useful, but when it could be something similar that can be used in education could be not in context or be harmful. Just 1 second. Now let's talk about digital media technology. Digital media is really important when it comes to education because it helps us to produce educational materials and entertaining, engaging materials. So let's have an idea about digital media technologies and the career paths that could be there for you if in case you are interested in digital media technology. So we'll have you watch this quick video.
Hello, my name is Mr. Malloy, Digital Media Instructor at Eastern Westmoreland Career and Technology Center. Digital media is part of the Arts and Communications cluster. In digital media, we work with state-of-the-art Canon DSLR cameras, digital camcorders, and the latest in DJI drone technology. We edit on powerful Mac and PC computers using the latest Adobe software such as Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe After Effects, and much more. We prepare students for certifications in social media marketing, Adobe Photoshop certification, and Adobe Premiere certification. What can you expect to learn in digital media? What do you need to know before you sign up? And more importantly, what is digital media?
Let's hear what one of our current students has to say.
What is digital media? Digital media is a blend of technology and content and is any form of media that uses electronic devices for distribution. It is any kind of video, audio, software, or other content that can be created, edited, stored, or accessed via electronic devices.
Digital media basically has everything to do with videography, photography, design, Photoshop, photo editing, cameras, and all of the above.
All of the fields within digital media are intertwined. One cannot effectively exist without the others. Each field is a different thread woven into a single tapestry. Everything comes together to create one picture. In the 1980s, cable TV became widely popular, and in 1989, the World Wide Web was invented. Sites like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter were all created within a 2-year period. In the year 2021, people are wildly dependent on technology, whether it be for their career or to pass time.
What are some jobs in your field, and how much money can you make? I could broadcast events, open my own studio, and do senior portraits. Have you ever been a senior? Yeah, senior portraits cost a fortune, meaning I would be making bank. Or I could even contract my talents to businesses.
Digital media plays such a large role in our day-to-day lives that we often don't even notice. If you see an ad on a billboard, that was produced by a software. A book that you may be reading, its cover was digitally designed and the words inside were written on a computer. Every company's logo was digitally created. Every time we play a video game, every YouTube video that we watch, every website we visit, every time we open an app on our phone, every time we stream a song. Digital media is everywhere. From the minute we wake up and first grab our phones to the minute we unwind with our favorite show at night, we are all bombarded by the products and influence of digital media. It shapes our lives in ways seen and unseen, and as we forge into the future, it becomes an ever-growing presence. There's no telling how it will continue to evolve in the years to come.
So again, we see here that to work in production of educational entertaining content using digital media technologies, then you need to understand digital media technology, and then you put the what is inside as a content, you can make it educational. But as you see, there is a various of careers to work on digital media technology, despite what content you are going to produce. So there is this be focusing on the cameras, on the video productions, using softwares and edits, the broadcasting, the podcasts, and all those technologies are integrated when it comes to technology to education, in case we are interested to produce high profile, highly engaging educational materials. Now, before jumping to ethical considerations, which is we have two parts left in our workshop. But before going further, do you have any comments you would or insights you are interested to share? In case you have, just raise your hands. If not, we are going to move to the last part of our workshop, which is going to be interactive, because it's like a sort of a puzzle that I'm going to ask you to solve. So, okay, so let's proceed. Now we are going to talk about ethical considerations. Recently, I have been working in responsible AI systems. My focus is not mainly education when it comes to responsible AI. However, education, because I am already working with the education myself, my job has part working with education, so I have been looking into the ethical considerations. There are frameworks when it came to ethical considerations, and when you are designing or using technology in education, there are ethical considerations. And some countries, if you are exporting educational tools to them, they might refuse to or reject your proposal because of the ethical considerations. I'm not going to talk about the ethical considerations. However, I'm going to show you incidents from reality, that the incidents that already happened, and ask you to reflect and you yourself reach the ethical considerations. Okay, so we have three cases that we are going to discuss together. So this is the first case. There was an AI system that supposed to help in the education, and the idea was through this system, students could be scanned, and their profiles are stored and analyzed is in a way to prevent a crime or to predict a crime. And this incident happened in the US to support intelligent policing. So what happened is, instead of supporting the students to preventing crime, some students get harassed based on their color. So if you are a Black student and you have been absent from your school, then the system is going to consider that you are a potential criminal. And as a result, the police are going to run after you and your family and keep tracking you. So in this case, the algorithm is designed that way, and it has been tracking the students' performance. And if they are Black in color, then the algorithm is going to give a reward to the system and say that this person is most probably is going to be a criminal. So now the question for you, what do you think about this case? How we can avoid, let me know your opinion, or what do you see from such case, a similar case? So you can raise your hands on the, if you are interested to comment on this. Okay, Muhammad Bakri, you can go.
So I think this case have it's either one of two problems or the both. It's the first problem I suspect is that the AI wasn't like it was trained wrong, like it was trained in hatred of ethical black people and things like that. Like it was trained to be that. That's the I suspect that it might
Thank you,
be
Muhammad.
that. And the other
Thank you.
suspicion is that
Yeah.
it wasn't trained to it like maybe it has seen like the statistics, and maybe the statistics say 70% of black people are criminals and things like that, and the AI suspects that most black people are criminals, and based on the statistics that uh, aren't right. Maybe just it's 70% of criminals that are black people. That doesn't mean that all black people might be criminals, and the AI just based on that uh, not valid information, it bases and it suspects people that shouldn't be suspected as criminals.
Thank you, Muhammad. Yes, exactly. You are right. It has been trained on the wrong data. It has been trained statistically that, okay, the majority of crimes are done by Black people, so let's generalize. And here is the problem of the statistics, of generalizing, because you can't go inside the intentions of every person. And let me tell you that this case is against the human rights, and there is a very, very strong wave now and calls that the AI should be used and consider the human rights and shouldn't violate the human rights. So, and if you are one of the followers of the AI discussion worldwide, then you will be familiar about the EU, the European Union AI Act, which reject and and refuses the usage of similar systems. There should be diversity, the data should be inclusive, and the AI shouldn't go against a certain ethnic group. So case two, the original aim of the system was to rate teachers' effectiveness. So if you are a good teacher, then I am going to give you some sort of a reward or something. So there was 12,000 teachers taught English or math in England, and they have been rated based on what's called value-added analysis, and the system calculated based on this way the teacher's effectiveness in improving student performance on standardized tests and on the past test scores. The problem here, this approach has reached the public, and the teachers, some of the teachers has been like embarrassed and scolded, and have been like, you are a bad teacher, you are a good teacher. So this is another way that the algorithms were being misused due to the way the algorithm, the philosophy beyond the algorithm. So this is something important also to be considered. The third case is related to advising those softwares focusing on advising students about if they are at high risk of failure or not. And if they are at high risk of failure, you advise them to study something not like a major. And it has been used in some universities in the US, such software. And also, it's like the first case. The software was trained on the wrong data, not on the proper data, and as a result, the system has been considering that the Black students or students from different from Asian origins or something, that those are smart, those are not smart, and so you might be a Black person and very good person and intelligent, that you can have a chance to study engineering, but the system is not going to recommend engineering for you because of your color, and this is also considered ethically wrong. Now, before going to the last part of our workshop, do you have any comments related to the ethical considerations? I would like to hear, and I would like to give you one comment before moving to the last part. So in case you have comments related to ethical considerations or have questions, please raise your hands. But meanwhile, let me tell you that we have frameworks when it comes to the usage of AI with students. So this is something that you need to put in mind. So before rushing and opening a business that uses technology, something like AR, VR, or collecting data about the students, you have to be very, very coaches when you do this. Why? Because there are now rules and laws and legalities when it comes to using AI with the students and in education context. And some continents like the EU forbids the usage of some technologies like the biometrics and the other technologies, and the collection of data of the students, how it's done is something really important to them. Maybe this is not in a country like Egypt, maybe the ethical considerations are not like taking a sort of public discussions, or the majority of the people interested in data scientists here are not aware of the ethical considerations when it comes of using technology with the students. But in case you are opening a company and you need to go further with this company, or have establish a company or a product, or use a tool that can stand with the future, then you need to be cautious when it comes to the ethical considerations, to the data that you are collecting, the diversity, the transparency, the fairness of the algorithm that you are using, and the whole list of items in the framework when it comes to the usage of the data in AI and education. The last thing I'm going to share with you are some insights from the World Robot Olympiad. If you are aware of it, I have been the national organizer of the World Robot Olympiad since 2011. The good thing is we need to let students to be aware of technologies, to be able to be producers of technology instead of consumers. So the World Robot Olympiad is since early 2000s have been there. Now we have more than 90 countries. In case you are interested to join somehow, I'm going to show you one of the videos from the finals that we had in the new capital in the Knowledge Hub. So let me show you this video first. So this has been like a sort of in a glance, the missions and how the student each year we have a different mission, and the students are working either to build self-driving car if they are an older students, or to solve a mission related to sustainability, as you see. Also, something else I would like to show you related to the Okay, we need to stop this one. This is another example that, and this is the last thing with us today before moving to questions and answers. It's about the course I have been designing and using virtual labs and virtual robotics VRT. And this course actually has been selected by the UNESCO as one of the best practices in teaching AI to students. So I will give you, in this video, is going to give you like a sort of an idea about how we use the virtual lab, like a virtual robot toolkit in teaching robotics and the students' feedback. So this is going to be the last thing, and then we can move to the questions and answers, and we are done.
أنا أول كورس أنا أول كورس ليا برمجة روبوت، وعجبني إن باشمهندس ياسر وأستاذة مروة كانوا على طول بيجاوبوا على أسئلتنا. أنا قلت لكل أصحابي المهتمين بالبرمجة على الكورس ده، وأشكركم لأني لما دخلت الكورس ده ما كنتش عارف أي حاجة عن البرمجة، بس لما خدت الكورس بقيت عارف حاجات كتير.
الله.
أنا هاجر عاطف، كنت مشتركة في كورس الروبوت. في الحقيقة الكورس كان مفيد جدا واستفدت منه كتير، بس كنت أتمنى إن الكورس يكون فيه تدريب عملي أكتر من كده. لكن في المجمل بصراحة استفدت كتير واستفدت أساسيات الليجو روبوت، وحاسة إني ممكن أكمل على أرضية كويسة جدا. وشكرا لكل اللي ساهموا في تنظيم الكورس، طبعا شكر خاص دكتور مروة سعودي.
ايه ال1 of 2 states؟ يا بيبقى 0 وبيبقى 1. حد عارف ليه؟
عشان لو لمس او ما لمس، يعني لو ملوش شغل غير كده.
بالظبط، لو هو لمس يبقى 0، لو هو 1
Hello, my name is Priyanka Tuteja and I am the General Manager at Cognition Robotics. Cognition Robotics is a Canadian-based company and we have developed a software called Virtual Robotics Toolkit. Virtual Robotics Toolkit teaches you coding through robotics by giving you access to your very own virtual Lego robot that you can program using Lego EV3 programming environment. With the help of Virtual Robotics Toolkit, you can learn different skills like coding, you're learning different sensors, you're learning how to do line following, wall following in a variety of different environments. And at the end, if you're interested, you can also compete with your friends that are sitting far away from you in different parts of the world. With the help of our collaboration with Ideas Gym, we are hoping to develop this STEM program that will get you ready for this increasing demand of STEM jobs out there in the world. Thank you so much.
So this is the end of our session, and we just have like a few minutes in case you have some questions. We have 7 minutes left. So in case anyone has question, we would be happy to discuss. Just raise your hand, and we are going to open your mic and listen to your question. Okay, it seems nobody has questions, so I hope that you liked the workshop and that you gained some insights from different platforms and tools that you can use with your students, or encourage you to have a career in educational technology, either in using virtual labs like Virtual Robot Toolkit, similar to Virtual Robot Toolkit, or in case you are interested to work in the research work concerning AI ethical considerations when it comes to the usage of AI in education, or either in developing learning management systems, or other educational tools or platforms, or in generative AI. Thank you everyone for your time today. I hope you liked it, and this is my email. I'm going to put it on the chat in case you are interested to send me any questions. So this is my email. Thank you, Ziad. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice day. I have left my email on the chat in case any one of you would like to send me anything by mail. I will be happy to answer you back. So thank you. Thank you, Salma. I think we are done.